Warning: listeners may experience increased motivation, accountability, and personal development. You are now listening to the Think, Grow, Evolve podcast with your hosts, Eric and Jose.
We're live.
Yay.
We got an applicable topic today. Something that I got so much passion particularly for today. You know what that is?
What is it?
I was bored in the house, and I was in the house bored, and I was losing my marbles.
Wow, cheesy.
I've been getting a lot of that recently, man. So
Just boredom.
a lot of boredom. And like I experience boredom a lot more than I want to admit. And I thought, you know what? This is something we can talk about.
Yeah.
And I know talking to you, you have some different opinions on that. So I think this can actually be a really cool conversation.
Okay. Yeah. No, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people experience boredom to a certain, like, everyone to a different extent, but pretty sure everyone can relate to being bored at one point in their life.
So let's think about it. What do you define as, or like, how would you experience boredom? What does it feel like? Not what it is.
Okay, so based off personal experience, like, boredom, I would say, is when you feel like you're not doing anything and you're just going through the motions and you're just there, and like you're there, but you're not there mentally. Like,
So is it external or internal? Or both?
it could be both, because honestly, me, like, if I really focus on the times that I'm bored sometimes is maybe work and a place that I don't want to be, like, like those minimum wage jobs. And there's obviously, like, sometimes in work where there's sometimes you're just not doing anything. Like, let's say you're clearing tables or
Waiting for a guest to sit at your table.
Waiting for a guest, and you're just there, right? And you have no choice but to just be there, right?
Watch the clock tick.
Exactly. So if I can think of, like, times where I feel bored, that's the first thing that comes to mind for me.
So that's cool, because we have like one side of boredom where you're not doing much, and then I think there's other sides of boredom. Like, have you ever done like a clerical desk job, which I've done, and I was doing like endless, like, monotonous paperwork
I can
of
imagine.
client name, client address, and all, like, filling out, like, for 8 hours straight, just paperwork. And even though I was doing a lot, I was bored.
Yeah, that's
So like boredom's kind of cool, because like
Yeah.
you have boredom by not doing anything, and you have boring of doing a lot of the same thing,
just
right?
the same thing, kind of like a robot. You're just on autopilot.
Yeah, and the reason why, like, I think I wanted to talk about this particularly is, like, I hate being bored. Like,
Interesting.
the version of Eric that comes out when he is bored is a different person. And like, I don't know if you get like this through talking with you. I know we experience it different. But when I'm bored, I feel like, if you were to ask me what I feel a lot of anger. A lot of anger towards myself even. Like, going back to, so remember how we talked about two different types of boredom?
Yeah.
So if I'm in my house doing nothing and I'm laying on the couch kind of on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, the rotation, I'll be like, oh, dude, what the hell are you doing? Like, you're a failure. You could have, like, done that schoolwork that you have due on the weekend. You could have started your presentation. You could have worked on a podcast, wrote a blog, anything. Like, that's how my brain goes. And then when I go back to, like, the situation where I'm doing the clerical job and I'm bored, I'm like, wow, dude, you're complaining that you're at work and you're bored. Like, you're like, what are you, a princess kind of attitude? Like, it's the mental talk is very negative, and I become agitated. Like, not a fan.
Interesting. Yeah, well, honestly, for me personally, like, when I do experience, I guess, when I'm bored or I do go through those moments, because I feel like everyone does, I don't get mad at myself.
You're a lucky mother.
Like, after talking with you, it's very interesting, the two different perspectives, because I feel like I like looking at the bigger picture, or like long term, right? So, and maybe talking to you like the now, which is very good, right? So it's very interesting, because me, I accept that I'm human, right? There's going to be times where I guess I'm going through Instagram, or I'm at work just going through the flows and I'm bored, right? But I always look at the greater picture, right? Okay, I'm bored, but I'm working towards saving money for a down payment, or I'm working towards pay off my school. Like, I'm bored in the moment. It's uncomfortable, right? But I know it's towards like a bigger picture.
Because you're
right?
you're attributing meaning to your actions, which I think is awesome.
And I think that's huge.
But at the same time, like when I'm laying on the couch scrolling through my like 19th rotation of Instagram and TikTok, I don't see the bigger picture. I don't see the meaning of, this is gonna go towards my education. No, I'm like, you piece of shit, get off your ass and do something.
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Yeah, I'm here.
You have an iPhone.
Correct.
When do you get the notification that says, "Hey, your average daily screen time"?
Oh, I think I get those like weekly.
Yeah, you get them
something.
weekly.
Yeah.
I'm curious. What is yours roughly? Do you remember?
I think mine's around 6 to 7 hours. I think. Yeah.
Are you fucked?
What?
Bro, mine's at 3 hours and I hate myself.
Yeah, but I just.
Holy shit.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I'm on my phone, like emails, talking to people, YouTube, and like,
Damn.
like I like being on my phone,
Damn.
right? But
That's interesting.
Thing is, when I'm on my phone, I like learning new things.
Yeah, no,
right?
watching YouTube videos and educating yourself on your phone and making like
and podcasts. And all
yeah,
that
you
stuff,
do a
so.
lot of stuff on your phone. It's just, isn't it crazy? Remember when we talked to how we only have 24 hours in a day?
Yeah.
8 of those is sleep. So now you have 16 that you're averaging 7 to 8 on your phone. How crazy is that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh man, that's I literally, you know when Netflix says, "Are you still watching?"
Yeah.
I get mad. I'm like, you son of a bitch, you're judging me.
Like, yes, I'm still here.
Yeah, I'm still
But
there.
No, it's funny how like it's well, a good portion of that's not just me, just like, I guess, scrolling through Instagram. A part of it is, right? But you know how Instagram targets like your likes towards whatever, like, I guess I like a lot of those like inspirational quotes and just those quick little reels on like quick little infos on like fitness, nutrition, or financial education. So
I'm just happy
I always learn a new thing.
I don't get the screen update for my laptop because if I got it, I know you watch YouTube on your phone. I watch YouTube on my laptop. So
that's
if I combined my phone and my laptop, I'm easy probably 6 to 9 hours a
Probably
day.
so.
Like if
Interesting.
it's crazy.
Wow.
And dude, like I think hearing the number is scary now thinking about it because you're only awake for how many 16 hours of the day, and we're gonna spend 8 to 9 of it on a screen. Wow.
But it's also because of the timing that we're currently in right now, right?
Oh, of course,
So,
we're not going out to work. We're not socializing with people.
not like you have a choice, but you know.
And yeah, you want to socialize. FaceTime. Guess
Yeah,
what? Screen time.
That's another thing. Zoom calls are huge. Like the FaceTime, Snapchat. What's that app? There's like that Snapchat where you can like
House party.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was. I mean, that's fun.
Yay.
But that's the thing too, right? Like our society or technology even has like facilitated this like counteracting boredom with technology, right?
Yeah.
So like we have apps like we talked about. We have social media, like I didn't play Candy Crush much or Best Fiends, but like I know a lot of people are addicted to that. I'm addicted to Clash Royale.
Yeah, well, if you look back, there was a lot of apps that I guess would fulfill your boredom. Temple Run, Pokemon Go, what are a couple? Candy Crush, Angry Birds.
I rate Pokemon Go because
like,
you have to walk for that shit.
Yeah, you do, right? But it's funny you say that because there's so many things in society that are, I guess, supposed to
cure the boredom,
keep you occupied, I guess, right? To kind of like.
Dude, I remember when I worked as a bartender and I had people.
Good days.
I had regulars, right? And there was this one regular who was probably my favorite customer. Like so nice, so knowledgeable, very educated. And as he was talking to me, he was always on his phone.
Oh.
So one day I was coming in to like pick up a paycheck, and I was like, I came behind him to go say hi to him, and like not to be nosy, but like I looked what he was doing on his phone, and he was playing solitaire. Or he was playing solitaire or blackjack. And then like next day I saw him and I was like, what you doing there? Yeah. And he was literally playing blackjack while watching poker on the TV behind. Like he was always playing a game while he was at the bar, talking to me, talking to his friends. We are constantly in stimulation overload. And like I'm not saying this to insult this person. Like I myself, like the other day I was doing cardio and you were here and you're like, what are you doing? And I was playing a game while doing cardio to not be bored.
I'm like,
Well,
I
dude,
can't do
people
that.
watch Netflix series while on the
Yeah.
Stairmaster. People do. I mean, listening to music is like a lot of the times people do it to not be bored. It's different. It's not visual stimulation, but it's still mental stimulation, right?
That's huge. And I, hopefully not to like offend anyone, but I feel like a lot of people overestimate their ability to multitask. They think like
Sorry,
maybe
over or under?
I think they think they're a lot better than they actually are,
Facts.
right? So, kind of like your little example there, but I feel like, they're like, yeah, I'm having this conversation with my friends. I'm talking to the bartender. I'm on my phone playing this, like, and I feel like because of technology, and we're just constantly getting all these different types of stimulation that we just need it, and we're like, yeah, I think I'm having meaningful conversations with this person, but to be honest, like, I don't know about you, but I don't know if I'd be able to do that effectively. I think I'd be able to do it, but it would just be like, yeah.
Well,
Like,
because as people, like, I mean, we grew up very much during the technological revolution, right?
yeah, we're like half.
Yeah, we're like we
It's funny.
saw both sides. Like we always grew up with technology, but like when technology like became
Like,
prevalent into
yeah.
society,
Yeah.
we were there. So like we see it being difficult to put our attention and stimulation into one thing. Like full disclosure, guys, like we've explained, we're both servers. The amount of time we see young couples coming into restaurants and not even looking at each other.
Yeah.
Like they are on their phones their whole time saying, do you like this Snapchat? Should I post this? Oh, look who commented on this. Wow, did you see that she didn't like my photo?
It's scary. Or the amount of times, like, the amount of just pictures that people will take of like a specific meal and be like, no, that's not it. And their meal almost gets cold. I'm over here like, you gonna enjoy the food, or are you just gonna
Have you ever gone out with someone that says, don't take a bite until I take a picture? And you're like, you're marved. You're like drooling. You're salivating. That is, oh, that's brutal.
Off the top of my head, no. Well, no, I don't think that's. I've heard stories.
Your sister's never done that? My sister does that
No,
all the time.
no.
Oh, you're so lucky, man.
Well, I have a younger sister, so maybe that's why. Maybe because you're the younger one, but no, like I've never. Well, honestly, funny. Well, no, not really.
Bro,
No, I can't think of.
You're again lucky.
Well, I feel like it'll.
It's just
within
our
time.
society, though, man.
Yeah, within time.
I'm not bashing anyone who does it. I love food content on social
Yeah.
media. So I take pictures of my food that I cook all the
Yeah,
time.
why not?
Screw it. It's awesome.
Why not?
But I think what also makes it more like this boredom or experience of boredom for our generation more challenging is like, not going to pretend like I know, but like my parents always told me that when they had to study for something for school, they had to go to the library. They had to take out a book. They had to read the book. They had to make notes, return the book, walk back home. We go, hey Siri, Google, do this. Alexa, do this, or whatever. Like we find our answers. That done.
Exactly.
Click.
And it's quite scary. I don't know if you know, like a couple of these softwares now, like Check Study, or like I think there's called Eddie Birdie or stuff, where you literally pay to get some of your assignments done, right? So it's you're literally and these softwares are quite common, right? And it's just like even something like Grammarly, which I think is very effective.
I
but,
highly suggest Grammarly.
right? But kind of like you said back then, like you
you have to edit it yourself.
You have to edit it yourself.
You have to ask someone to edit it.
Exactly. Like it took, I guess it was more time consuming in like the past.
Everything.
Right? Compared to now where everything's so quick.
Our snacks, our food, our water, our workouts, our content, do you remember, what was it, FrostWire, LimeWire, how long it took to download a song?
Yeah, and look at it now.
Now, click.
It's literally
it's on the cloud.
Like, add it to iCloud, download.
And it's already playing while it's downloading.
And it was such a hassle. Like, it was such a hassle.
Have you ever waited like 2 hours to download a song? 2 hours passes, you listen to it, and it's not the song. It's like
it's like a remix bootleg version.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the worst. And now, see, so that's very interesting now, because now since everything's so quick, everything is so instant compared to before, we have all this extra time, quote unquote. So what do we do with that?
You know what else is I think is a negative with all that extra time? Temptations. Like people boredom eat. It's a thing. I've
yeah.
done it.
Oh yeah.
Boredom eat your bad habits. A lot of the times, I mean, like, what stops someone from just rolling? Like, oh, I have nothing to do. Let's just get high. Or I have nothing to do.
Yeah.
Just want to do drugs.
Like
In fact, there's a high prevalence of like drugs in areas that have less urban culture. Like,
they're just, well, it's kind of just passing the time.
yeah, right?
It's
It
also
actually
socially acceptable, right? Drinking too.
There was a study done, and they actually said that the three biggest risk factors for teens and substance abuse in adolescence, the three main risk factors were elevated stress, access to money, and boredom. So those are the three major contributing factors that they found. I mean, I would personally throw in genetics and like if they're if they're
There's a lot of other
predisposed to
ones,
that.
Yeah, there's a lot of other ones, but even just as you said, I can totally relate to that because when I was in high school, like, yeah,
You had free time.
like, to be honest, man, like looking back, high school was a breeze, right? And just why not,
Bored.
bored.
Nothing better to do.
That's hit a couple 1-2s and go on cloud 9, and I was like, there was it's like nothing else to do.
So as much as our environment determines our ability to be bored, or like we said, by not doing anything or doing too much of the same thing, there's actually like biological evidence of like people's tendency. Like we already said, I tend to express boredom differently than you do, right?
Yeah.
Well, biologically, in our physiology, there is like, you know what dopamine does? That's like the pleasure, right?
Yay.
So for people who don't know, like dopamine is a neurotransmitter in your brain that goes to town when you are doing something pleasurable. So having sugar, having sex, doing drugs, working out, like that feeling of like,
eating that pizza.
Oh, this is so good.
Eating that pizza.
That's dopamine, right?
Yeah.
So basically people who have less dopamine receptors in their brain are those individuals who tend to need more quick fixes of dopamine. Their attention span shorter.
Yeah.
And it shows biologically that they're more susceptible to anxiety, depression, addiction, emotional regulation, interpersonal skills, performance issues like school and work, except like cheating, like all that's like the quick fix stuff.
Yeah. Well, you kind of have to kind of compensate, I guess, for your lower dopamine receptors, right? So you need, I guess, the bigger rush, or you need more of it.
I was gonna say, instead of, I think it's more quantity. Like you need it like more often.
More often. It's like feed me.
Well, that's like you and I talked about how COVID has like made us big readers. Becoming a reader was a challenge, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like a quarter of a page in, I'm like, ooh, what's the dog doing? Ooh, what am I doing for breakfast?
Yeah.
Ooh, my phone just vibrated. Like, give me pleasure. Yeah. And reading is like very delayed pleasure.
Yeah.
It's like very slow. I'm not saying it's not pleasurable. Reading's awesome, but it's not going to give you the same thing as eating a chocolate bar.
Oh, no. Well, it's because that's instant. And the other times is sometimes your first time reading a book, you may not really even get it. Like for you to actually grasp, I guess, the majority of it, it may take you 2, 3, even 4 times to just actually get everything the author's trying to say, compared to, like you said, how long does it take to eat a chocolate bar?
I mean,
seconds.
I was trying to think of a respectable answer for that. I was like,
seconds, right? Well, compared to reading a book, right? Like especially someone that comes from not reading at all, it may take
we're talking hours,
12 weeks, months, depending on where you start, right? And that's delayed gratification.
And even if you absorb it, like you said,
yeah. So it's, I guess, just knowing that. Well, I guess kind of doing that little shift is not easy, right? Because everyone wants those quick little, I guess, signs of gratification and just those little dopamine rushes, right? But
I don't think we can argue, and we're not saying that pleasure is bad. Like our brain needs stimulation, like, or else we do get bored. Going back to my clerical example, like we need, and flow theory, right?
Yeah.
So
you told me about
I
this.
love flow theory. Like I think the guy who discovered it, his name is like Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Yes, it is a tongue twister. It is not fun to say.
I would not say that.
If you look, his name has like 36 letters in it. So like, don't hate. But anyways, like flow theory is like the state of optional functioning. It's like the perfect balance of a task is not too difficult, not too easy, and your preparedness or your what's the word? Your capabilities are at the right level.
Just right.
Yeah. So like if something is too easy for you, like for example, me doing the clerical position, it was just mind-numbingly boring. Too
Yeah.
easy. If something's too difficult, like you try rocket science for the first time, like you
Yeah,
walk into a lecture of a rocket
You're
scientist.
like, this ain't for me.
No, you're just gonna be lost. You're gonna be discouraged. Your brain's gonna be like, I can't do this. Out.
Yeah.
But when you have like a task that's right at the perfect sweet level of challenge
Just the right amount.
and brain stimulation, that's when you're gonna like. How many times have you done an 8-hour day at work and it went by like that?
Yeah.
That's what
Just goes.
Csikszentmihalyi would. I'm gonna say him.
Yeah.
That's what he would describe as flow.
The flow guy. We'll call him the flow guy.
And he loved Dr. Flow. Dr. Flow.
Yeah, we'll call him that.
So Dr. Flow would say like he loved using the example of musicians and artists and dancers. Like how many times do you, if you guys play sports or do any arts or dance or any of that, like you do it and you don't even think about what you're doing. Like
Just
it just
natural.
comes natural to you. And
Instincts,
like
yeah.
you play a 90-minute soccer game and the game's done and you're like, oh, that went by so fast.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, 11 minutes doing something you don't want to do.
Cardio.
Actually, there's a beautiful quote. I think it's by Einstein. How like time is relative, right? And he said, it was like 1 minute of your hand on a hot pan feels like eternity, but 1 hour with a beautiful woman feels like an instant. Something like that. You know what?
Interesting.
I'm gonna find this quote.
Yeah.
Well,
You go find that.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful. I don't want to butcher it. People need to
Yeah.
hear this stuff.
Interesting. So, while you find that quote, I guess when it comes to boredom, what would be some things that I guess would help? Let's say someone that just is just, I guess, very not bored, but has a lot of time on their hands and they want to make a change, but since they're so used to it, it's a really hard time for them. So let's say some golden nuggets. What would be some golden nuggets as to, let's like,
To what? Are we talking about how to reduce boredom or how to not judge ourselves with boredom? What are you hitting at here?
all of the above? Is that C
Oh
or
my-
D?
C or D?
Yeah, and like multiple choice. Because someone like, let's say how what you said earlier is how you kind of beat yourself when you are, I guess, in that state where you're just on your couch going through Instagram, looking through, I guess, all the posts, and then you get stuck in a rabbit hole. Then you start judging yourself. Why am I not being productive? Why am I not doing anything? Blah, 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 blah. Are there some things that you do that kind of, let's say, get you out of the rut when like you're experiencing those type of thoughts?
Negative self-talk?
Yeah.
Okay, so something that I've done that's like work. So there's a couple things that I've done, and like full disclosure, like these things aren't foolproof. Like you can say it's no different than information on diet. Like some things will work for you sometimes, but some like boredom is a normal thing. So the first thing is don't attack yourself. Like I know I'm
self-talk.
It's so nice that you say that you don't attack yourself, and I'm like low-key like proud, and I'm like that's admirable. That's something I'm working towards. But for any of you that listening that have that boredom and start resenting yourself for doing nothing, I think step 1 is being like, it's okay.
Yeah, see, and even to what I said earlier is like, I always like looking at the bigger picture, right? Because we are human. There are days where you know, it's I feel like we're not like, I think it's okay to have like a day or two. Same thing as it's okay to have, I guess, pizza, you know, like every once in a while. Everything needs balance, right? And we can't always be go on your purpose, kill it, be productive every single day, 24/7, not be bored at all, because that's just not realistic. So I feel like just having a healthy balance, and that's what's helped for me. So just always look at the long term.
Well, the thing
So,
is too, like, I
bigger
found the
picture.
quote, by the way, but
Hey.
the thing is too, like, we look at other people, and I'm very much speaking from my perspective here, but you look at other people, particularly celebrities, and you're like, oh, look at The Rock. He's like constantly grinding. He's up at 4 a.m. showing his workout videos. Oh, look at the steak he's eating.
Yeah.
These people get bored too. You know what?
Yeah.
Like, just because they're successful does not mean they
Perfect. That they're perfect.
like, I'm reading Matthew McConaughey's book right now, and like, you think actors are like super, super, super busy, and I'm not saying they're not. I'm not an actor. I'm not going to pretend, but I've heard from multiple sources that as an actor, you can go like months in between like jobs, and where you're just auditioning, and like, forget Matthew McConaughey. What about like a mid-tier, like low-tier actor who's trying to get there?
Yeah, just starting to get.
Like, you might get a commercial gig, and then like 2 years passes before anything,
just
right?
completely dry.
And I'm telling you, like, there's a very good chance that they are bored in that time. Like, it's not, I think in the book, The Four Agreements, like, we take everything personally, right? That book really, like, out of all the four agreements, that one stuck with me the most. It's like, we take everything personally. And like, my negative self-talk, it was very much focused on me. Like, I'm the worst. I'm the laziest. Everyone's working harder than me. When reality is like, boredom's it's a human condition, right?
Yeah.
So
it's just another emotion.
that's something. Anyways, before I forget, I want to hit this quote. But Einstein said, when you sit with a beautiful woman for 2 hours, you think it's only 1 minute. But when you sit on a hot stove for a minute, you think it's 2 hours. Right?
There we go.
Fuck, didn't butcher that one.
That's just,
Anyways, but another tip that helped me a lot, and like, it sounds silly, like getting up and moving. Like,
that's underrated.
It's so underrated, man.
Because our bodies, believe it or not, were made to move.
Really? So, what gives you that idea?
Well, especially as towards like, I know a lot of people are working from home now, and I guess they have their own little desks. But ideally, if you're in a fixed position, well, this is also my personal training side. If you're in a fixed position for more than an hour, something as simple as in getting up to filling, let's say, your cup up with water, going to the bathroom, or just getting a snack, something as simple as just that releases the endorphins, like the good things that you want. Some people, dopamine, depends, right? Because if you haven't been moving, then well, who knows? But just resetting your posture and moving, getting blood flowing through your body is huge. So that's like my little one too, especially if you're on a couch for, let's say, an hour or two, and you're just really into movies. I guess sometimes like you kind of get sucked into it, but
well, I think movies is a great example, but nowadays, dude, the TV series, like, we're talking like people binge for like hours. My uncle, he binge watched Game of Thrones like 6 seasons in a couple of days.
And then what do you say after?
What do you mean?
When the series done? What now?
What next?
I'm bored. I need to find something else. And it's crazy how we're always on like trying to find that next fix, right? So I think movement is huge. So if you can just,
for your body, for your brain, for everything, and you know what else? I think good things happen when you move. Like, forget your body. Like, do you know what happens when you go for a walk? You can meet someone new. Know what happened?
Yeah.
Know what's actually like underrated, and it's also a test of willpower. Here's a tip for the listeners.
Boom.
Going to the mall, going for a walk, but planning not to buy a single thing. Just walk. Not only are you like around people, but you're testing your willpower when you go by those stores and you don't buy anything.
I like that. That's like you're really training your discipline in a way. It's almost like you're in like a room full of all the junk food you want to eat. You're just walking, but then you stick to, I guess the healthier alternative. So that's huge. That will definitely test your definitely test your willpower.
Dude, you know this is off topic, but do you know there's like a meme on the interwebs where I don't know if you've read it, but it's like, are you that person who smiles at old people to show that you're still one of the good ones? I I was just thinking about walking around the mall and seeing an old person and smiling and being like, yeah, I'm one of those good ones.
See, it's funny. Like here, well, I guess like I don't really do it, I guess, in our area. But when I went to Alberta, it was a standard. Like it was very interesting. Like old or not, like everyone was just happy.
Dude, do you remember coming up to the cottage and everyone
yeah.
waves and you're like, oh, do you know them? It's like, no, just people wave.
Yeah, right. So it's I don't know if it's like a city thing or if it's just where we live, but it's very interesting. Like not everyone or not everywhere is like that. Like I was very shocked, and it's just very welcoming. Like it's even on like the hikes and stuff. Like everyone's smiling, you know, like joking around, even though it's like a quick 5-second conversation. You're going this way, they're going the other way. It's like just that simple smile or just that simple greeting.
Or you know, a lot of guys do the guy nod. You know
yeah. It's like
and also a Canadian thing that I learned through school, because I have a professor. She started being a psychologist in America and then got her qualifications to practice in Canada.
Okay.
And she says in America, people say hi. And in Canada, people say, hey, how's it going? But you don't answer, how's it going? It's a rhetorical.
Just
how many times do you see someone, you go, how's it going?
Yeah.
And you don't answer.
It's just instinct. It's kind of like, it's like.
It's kind of cool. But that's, I think,
how's it going?
that leads to my next thing, is connect with people. Like, being alone, feeling lonely and bored, it's a terrible combination.
Yeah, that's definitely not fun, because then it's just you, really. And then when, like you said earlier, when that self-talk comes in, it's if there's no one that you can kind of, I guess, relate to or kind of vent to or even just talk to, like it gets really hard.
I'm curious on your perspective of something, because like I was gonna say next that obviously like text, reach out on phone or Zoom or whatever. Do you think, obviously, okay, maybe not obviously, but like I think in person's the best, because you feel their energy, they're right there, you're talking. But do you think there's a difference in phone calling someone versus texting them? I personally think there is, but I'm curious what you think.
Different, like as in like, let's say someone trying to reach out.
I'm saying the experience of connecting to someone. I think you can get good connections both ways, but I do think like when it comes to, let's say, addressing boredom, I think talking to someone on the phone is better than texting. And I'll tell you why I think. I'm just curious what you think.
Yeah, well, I think the best form is obviously in
person.
In person, because then you can really connect to that person, and it's just facial expressions, body language. There's so many other things that you can actually like look into, right? If you're trying to, like, let's say, help that person or just kind of talk to them. But there's also some people, let's say they're not comfortable, right? They're not comfortable, I guess, being on the phone. I know some people that hate talking, right? And then there's, let's say you're in that state where you're bored and you're kind of giving yourself all these negative thoughts. Maybe you don't want to go on the phone with someone. Maybe you don't want to meet someone. So I think the best type of connection is in person, but it also depends with what that person is actually capable of providing when it comes towards like communication, right? I feel like if they want to spill their heart out by text, by all means, you know, I feel like text can be just as powerful. I feel like any one of them can be just as powerful.
Absolutely.
Right? So, but ideally, I am a sucker for the in person, right? So, but
you know why I think phone calls for me are a little bit better? And this is interesting, but I find that when I'm having a serious conversation with someone on the phone, I'm less distracted because I'm listening to when I'm on my phone or texting, sorry, I'll be texting other people as well. I'm not just texting the one person. I will be, Instagram notification, YouTube notification. Let me check my email. Like, I feel like you multitask more when you're texting.
I see.
Don't get me wrong. Like, there's been times where like I'm back and forth just texting one person.
Yeah. If the convo's good, you know, you just
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Jose said, like any type of communication or connecting is good. But you know what's something we didn't actually talk about yet when it comes to talking with people? Your friends and your peers and your families, that people, your tribe that you connect with,
That's huge.
They hold you accountable to shit.
Yeah.
If you tell your friends that I mean, hopefully you have these types of friends, but if you tell your friends or your family that you're doing something, whether it's for your job or for your school, your education,
Yeah.
and they're on your ass like, hey, how's it going? Are you still doing that thing? Are you, like, people hold you accountable to your actions. And I know we preach, like, don't base your life off of the expectations and comparisons to other people. But you know what? That feeling of having to, like, you know what? I got to go to the gym
Yeah.
because my buddy's going, or I gotta do the school assignment because I don't want to let someone down. It's powerful.
Yeah. Well, accountability, like, just, and that can come in so many ways. That can come from Facebook groups, that can come from your own little circle, that can come from your family, that can come from a friend or a workout partner. And I think accountability is huge. And it's something all of us need. Like, no matter who you are, if you look at top athletes, they have coaches. And even though they are the best in their specific field or sport, coaches or other people in their life still hold them accountable. They need to perform a certain way. Obviously, they're human. There's ups and downs, but I guess having that accountability, which can be anything, your environment, it could be your friends, it could be like, let's say, a coworker, it could be an acquaintance. There's so many ways people can stay accountable. You can even put like little notifications on your phone. Like, it's something that I think is it's very helpful. Like, sometimes, like, if I have like little things coming up, I can just set up like a little notification, and then my phone reminds me. I'm like, oh shit, like, I said I was gonna do this.
Take your birth control at 8:00.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Like it's just okay. Just that reminder. Because sometimes I feel like it's good to get like like kind of like an external voice or someone else being like, to remind you. Because I feel like in life, sometimes you just get busy, right? And let's say you had a goal at the beginning of the year, life happens, and you, not like you forget about it completely, but you're not as motivated as you once were.
Well, and maybe this is just me, and I don't think it is, but I'm just gonna say that. But I find it's almost sad that it's so much easier to let ourselves down than to let other people down.
Yeah.
Like, if I told you, bro, I'm going to the gym today, I would get more upset than letting you down.
Yeah.
Like, if I told you, it's like, shit, now I gotta do it kind of thing, you know?
And then the other thing, the funny thing you say that is, me, I don't want to be that guy. Like, I don't want to be that guy that reaches out and be like, you know what? Like, I'm not, like, I don't feel like going today. Even
because I'll roast the shit out of you.
Yeah, that's true. But like, there are days where I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like going to the gym today.
Absolutely.
As much as how passionate I am for it, I'm just, you know what? Like, I just don't want to do it. And I think that's another thing that it's okay.
Yeah.
That, like, another thing is, like, let's say you find something you're truly passionate about and you get bored of it. It's okay. Like it's not like,
but
oh my
you know what
God,
that could mean too? Like, being bored of something you love. It means, I mean, if you still want to love that thing, whether that's a relationship, whether that's a hobby, whether that's an instrument, make it more challenging. Spice it up. Change it up.
Just do something different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that's been really helpful for me. But yeah, again, going back, like, having that accountability personally is huge. It's just like, I think personally.
Yeah.
It's huge.
I know we harped on a lot of the negative experiences of boredom, but a lot of good things come from boredom too. Like, people become damn creative when they're bored.
And you find new things that you didn't think you were good at.
Like even this podcast probably wouldn't have happened if we didn't have extra time, right?
Yeah, literally. It's like, well, let's shoot the shit, let's see where this goes. But so I feel like nothing in life is, like, I guess, negative or in that aspect, but
nothing's purely negative and nothing is purely good. It's a yin and yang, right?
Yeah. So just like you said, that's actually it's a perfect example.
Some wise.
Yeah. Like, this idea was kind of brought upon by, quote unquote, being bored, right? So.
Yeah, I think, and listening to this podcast or taking any of these pieces of information, it's not going to make you never experience boredom again. That's not possible.
No.
But again, like, if we can get you thinking about boredom, growing on your acceptance towards it and evolving into the person who's like achieving little, like that 1% better.
Yeah.
I think
Just
that's what we want out of this, right?
yeah. Remember, we're all human. So the main thing is if you can like look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself it's okay, it's golden. You know.
You know, before this, I YouTubed like how to cure boredom, just out of curiosity to educate. And there's like this vlog of this dude, and it was like 182 ways to cure boredom.
Damn.
And it was like some random stuff. Like one of them was like go on a sidewalk and write swear words. And you know, like
Wow.
another one was like go to a thrift store and take pictures of items you've never seen before. So like as crazy as some of these things were, and is like borderline inappropriate, like writing swear words. Oh, it said write swear words in an area where kids play. Like it was inappropriate. Wow. But
Damn.
I think I kind of liked watching the video because all of these things got the person in the YouTube video out of his comfort zone. And it was kind of like, I think
that's huge.
If anyone can take something out of this, and especially like addressing boredom, it's just live. It's to do something, you know?
Yeah. Try something try something outside of your comfort zone. Try something that you never thought you'd do, because you never know, right?
You only experience life when you actually live it, whether that be through conversations with people, if you're running off of that subconscious, automatic, robotic actions of your day-to-day routine, you're gonna miss a lot of what's going right by you, right?
That's huge. I love how you worded that. That was wow.
Is that the mic drop?
Yeah, kind of left me kind of speechless there.
Did you lose yourself?
No. No, yeah, I did not lose myself. But that was actually really good. Just the way you said that. I like that, and I feel like some people need to hear it, you know? So hopefully they can take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, hopefully this helped. Guys,
so
please tell us what you think. Rate us, like it, share this, whatever gets us helping you. And like we said before, you guys, we can't wait to hear some of the things you guys do to help your boredom, or some of the things that, hey, you agreed with, some of the things you disagreed with. We want a conversation.
Yeah, your tips, your tricks, and if you were bored listening to this, tell us too, you know? So
yeah, what do we need? Like, is it this guy over here? Like, do we need to kick him off the show?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah.
Much love and peace.
Take care, guys.